Again to professional boxing on Eurosport. Tonight's action starts in the Crowtree Leisure Centre, Sunderland. And we're going to bring you Gary Jacobs, the reigning European welterweight champion, in action against the current German international champion, Horace Fleury. He's the light middleweight champion. And Gary Jacobs, you may remember, captured the European Championship at welterweight with a 9th round stoppage of Ludovic Proto in Paris in February, having previously lost controversially on points to the same man.
Ladies and gentlemen, we continue with a contest made at 11 stone 3 pounds between, introducing in the blue corner, wearing the blue trunks from Huddersfield, the German international light middleweight champion. A welcome please for Horace Fleury.
So there's Horace Fleury then in the blue, southpaw. Very checkered career
and
Horace has had.
Corner wearing the silver trunks from Glasgow, the former undefeated British welterweight champion, current European welterweight champion, Gary Jacobs.
There's Gary Jacobs in the silver trunks, former undefeated British welterweight champion as well.
Scaled 11 stone 2 pounds, Jacobs 11 stone 3 pounds. Your referee for this contest.
And ironically, Gary Jacobs, a true welterweight, is coming a pound heavier than Horace Fleury for this one. But it's not real fighting weight, I wouldn't suggest. He's normally in tremendous shape. Referee for this one, Larry Thompson, my old mucker. Gary Jacobs, impressive record, 34 wins in 39 outings. Pro now, Gary, since May of '85. And Fleury turned pro a couple of years later. All southpaw match, this one. Jacobs, very smooth fighter, good puncher too. And this is a marking time match for Jacobs. He's hoping, of course, for a major championship shot to capitalise on that European title he already holds, or even possibly a defence of the European crown. And as so often, champions can become quite vulnerable in this position, in these marking time fights, so doesn't want to make a mistake. And Horace Fleury's mixed it with a couple of European champions before. He boxed side Skoomer, you might remember, on Eurosport in June of '91. I had Skoomer on the floor before the end, but lost on points in a tremendous effort, I thought. Also boxed Frank Nikotra, who went on to become European super middleweight champion, lost on a 6th round disqualification back in '89. And Horace Fleury, born in Huddersfield originally. Sorry, born in Jamaica, but family moved to Huddersfield, and he's done most of his boxing in Germany. Right hook to the body, right hook to the head from Jacobs. Horace Fleury now 32 years of age. Jacobs is 28. And Gary Jacobs really impressed me when he beat Rocky Kelly. I actually thought that Kelly might take that, but he stopped Kelly on cuts in 7 rounds in '89. That was a defence, in fact, of his WBC International and Commonwealth Welterweight Championships. Also beat George Collins, the first Brit to do it, on points over 12. Well, Fleury, they're getting through the wide left of the head. And Horace Fleury has been mixing in high calibre of late. In December of last year, he boxed Richie Woodall, the reigning Commonwealth middleweight champion, lost on points. And a couple of fights before that, lost to Neville Brown, one of our leading contenders. And also Robert McCracken, took them all the distance. Beat Thomas Mathieu for the German international light middleweight title. Stopped him in 2 last February. And Larry Thompson there warning Fleury's corner for coaching, and that's Brendan Ingle in there, in case you didn't recognise him. Gary Jacobs managed by Mickey Duff. Used to box for Govan as an amateur. That was the same club that spurned Rabseen Nesbitt, wasn't it? And years ago, back in 1975, I fought a guy called Fleary up in the northwest, and it looks very much like Horace.
Seconds out.
Unless Horace has got a boxing brother called Eddie. Anyway, round 2 of the scheduled 8. An all-southpaw match. The reigning European welterweight champion Gary Jacobs. Looks like he's taken the first against Horace Fleary, but Fleary got through with a couple of shots there towards the finish. I do believe that Fleary's business is taken care of by Greg Steen now that he's moved back to England. And because Horace Fleary boxes away from home a lot of the time, he's got a few more losses than wins on the record, but still not a bad record. Jacobs, a very versatile puncher. Not a devastating knockout puncher, but certainly does put them together well and grinds an opponent down. As we saw that game effort by Robert Wright against Gary Jacobs. Boxed well, Wright, but folded in the 6th up in Glasgow. That was, in fact, a British welterweight title defence. And Jacobs gave up the British title after that and went for the European, of course. One big name on the record was that of James McGirt. Lost on points to McGirt in August '89. McGirt, of course, the former WBC welterweight champion. So good effort there from Gary Jacobs. And McGirt, of course, recently lost his welterweight title to Pernell Whitaker on a disputed decision. Nice shots there from Jacobs. Jacobs, a former Scottish champion as well. I remember seeing him against Tommy McCallum, stopped McCallum in 5 with body punches, and was actually presented with the Steve Watt belt. Belt made specially by the St Andrews Sporting Club to commemorate the career and also to lament the death of Steve Watt.
Hey, come out.
And again, good thumping left hands from Gary Jacobs. Well, now Jacobs' corner gets a ticking off for coaching. Well, that's honours even then for the tick-offs by referee Larry Thompson. So 2 rounds gone. Gary Jacobs, I think it's fair to say, has taken the pair of them. And you might also remember back in September of '88, Gary beat Javier Suezo on a 10th round knockout to add the vacant WBC International welterweight title. So he's had his championships as Gary. In fact, in all, he's held 4. The British, the Commonwealth, the WBC International, and, of course, the one he already holds, the current European welterweight title. Good right to the body there from Jacobs. And I would say Gary's most crushing loss was to Mickey Hughes at the York Hall in London in October of '90. He was beating Mickey Hughes all ends up until one tremendous left hook laid him out in the 8th. And a lot of people thought that Jacobs' career would be over by that point, but he came back very well, of course. And of course outpointed Nottingham's Del Bryan after that Hughes loss to take the British Championship. And this is Jacobs, stock in trade, likes to get in close there with those good uppercuts and body shots. Also boxes well at long range, of course. Fleary under a bit of pressure there. And Jacobs gradually increasing the pace here.
Watch your head, watch your head. Break! Step up.
Oh, lovely uppercut. And I might not be right about Fleary being taken care of by Gregston. It may well be Keith Tate, the Bradford manager.
Down, push your head down.
But either way, it's good to see him back on home soil.
Watch the elbow, watch the elbow, Fleary.
And again, lovely body punches here from Jacobs. Does pick them so well.
Right! Don't hold, Fleary. Don't go on, push on.
So another good round there for Gary Jacobs. That's the best one he's had so far. The most conclusive.
Or else this take the fourth.
There's Brendan Ingle, very good motivator.
Round 4.
It's round 4 then. A catchweight marking time contest for Gary Jacobs. And this is a good opportunity for Horace Fleary to try and impress. And Jacobs would do well to stop Fleary here. As I say, Neville Brown didn't. Neither did Richie Woodall or Robert McCracken. And these are good shots again from Jacobs. And those body punches are real sickness.
Watch the head now in there, watch the head inside.
And just when you bring your elbow down to protect the ribs, up comes Jacobs with a crunching left or right to the head. And then you try and put your hands up to block the hooks, and an uppercut comes straight through the middle. Oh, a nice long left there from Fleary. Jacobs just pulled his head away at the last second.
Watch your head, Fleary, watch your head.
Horace's problem now is where's the next one coming from? And Jacobs got superb balance. Wish I could have thrown a shot like that.
Don't hold it there, let go, Fleary, let go.
Plants his feet well, puts the hip and shoulder into his punches. Look at this. Good to watch. As I said, a very versatile puncher. And now Gary Jacobs really trying to up the pressure now and finish Fleary if he can. Of course, neither man's championship at stake here. Again, lovely uppercuts from Jacobs.
Watch the head.
And Horace Fleary doing well so far to sustain this barrage. Jacobs has got good vision, which is what I like to call it. He knows what's coming, knows exactly where they're going. And Horace Freary proving to be very game here at the moment. Double jab finishes off the round. Another good one for Gary Jacobs. And I imagine that Freary is getting a bit disillusioned at this point. Put it this way, I would be. Well, it's all over. Brendan Ingles decided that Horace Freary has taken enough for one night. And Gary Jacobs there leading the applause for game effort by Freary.
Horace Freary having retired with an injured hand at the beginning of the 5th round. The winner, Gary Jacobs.
Well, that's probably a very sensible retirement by cornerman Brendan Ingle. So another good win there for Gary Jacobs. But as I say, you get nothing out of these fights
Your
except
appreciation
staying
for a very
busy.
good loser there.
Stay with
please,
us for more
Horace
action
Freary.
from the lightweight division.